Hi, I'm Chris Paulo Taigwe and you're welcome to Forex Matters, your window on Forex development. We have in the house today Dr. Abiodun Adedipe, a renowned economist and strategist. He's an old friend of the house and he will be deepening our knowledge as usual on Forex windows and their issues. Also in the house, we have an international businesswoman, Olori Sandra Thomas, aka Makari. I'll be telling you why she's Makari in a short while, but then she'll be talking to us as an end user of FX. It's going to be another engaging moment for us on today's episode. Meet me after this time out. You're welcome back. Let's quickly pay a visit to the Forex market so we can see how FX is faring in the currency world.
IMF warns CBN that e-Naira may lead to new money laundering and terrorism financing risks. Zimbabwe exchange rate manipulators to face the law. Canadian dollar firms as oil surges on Ukraine war fears. Euro rises as Russia says still open to diplomacy. British pound sterling to the United States dollars trades to a new session low.
Foreign exchange. The FX market is a market for trading and exchanging any currency pair. The value of one currency in terms of another currency is known as the foreign exchange rate. Exchange rate movements are determined by demand and supply for the currencies over time, based on trade value, capital flows, and market expectations. The Nigerian FX market consists of two dealing segments. Number 1. Over-the-counter dealing, the critical market with many suppliers and market makers. Major participants include A. The Central Bank of Nigeria. B. Authorized dealers, the financial institutions licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria to make market in the FX markets. And C. Corporate and retail end users. The second dealing segment is the Bureau de Change, the market for retail cash transactions. The Nigerian FX market offers various products including spot, forwards, swaps, options, and futures. The United States dollar versus the Naira currency pair is the most traded in the market. However, market makers also deal crosses including but not limited to Canadian dollars, Swiss francs, euros, pound sterling, Japanese yen, and South African rand.
If you're just joining me, you're on time to witness the discourse concerning Forex developments and their challenges, especially Diaspora Remittances, as will be delivered to us by Dr. Adedipe and Olori Thomas. To provide you some understanding of the window, here's an excerpt on the series on Diaspora Remittance.
The CBN said recipients of Diaspora Remittances through CBN licensed international money transfer operators shall henceforth be paid 5 Naira for every dollar received as remittance inflow. Initially scheduled to run from March 8th to May 8th, the CBN said the deadline for the receiving of the dollar bonus had been extended till further notice. In other words, the life of the scheme has been extended indefinitely. Signed by Director of Trade and Exchange at the CBN, A.S. Jibrin, the circular noted that operations of the scheme remain the same. The circular states further to the CBN circular reference TED FEMPUB FPC 01003 dated 5th March 2021 on the above subject matter, which was originally scheduled to end on 8th May 2021. We hereby announce the continuation of the scheme until further notice. In quote, all aspects of the operationalization of the program remain the same. Please take note and ensure compliance. End of quote. Following the double whammy impact of the pandemic and declining oil prices in 2020, which made Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings suffer a sharp decline, the Apex Bank had no choice but to look for alternative sources to boost the nation's FX earnings through diaspora remittances. In November 2020, the CBN announced that beneficiaries of diaspora remittances through the international monetary transfer operators will have such inflows in foreign currency through the designated bank of their choice. The CBN had said the changes are necessary to deepen the FX market, provide more liquidity, and create more transparency in the administration of diaspora remittances into Nigeria. That is how the Nigerian Regulatory Bank has chosen to encourage the forex inflow from migrant Nigerians working all over the world, and World Report shows that Emefiele incentive policy must have fired up an increase in diaspora remittances for the year 2021. Nigeria's diaspora remittances inflow is set to beat the World Bank's projection for 2021, as it rose to $14.2 billion in the 9 months ending September 2021, up 10% year-on-year from $12.9 billion in the corresponding period of 2020, reflecting the impact of post-COVID economic recovery measures. Contained in the data from the CBN, diaspora remittances rose by 5.1% quarter-on-quarter to $4.28 billion in the first quarter of 2021, from $4.07 billion in the fourth quarter of 2020. The upward trend continued in Quarter 2 and Quarter 3, when diaspora remittances rose quarter-on-quarter by 21% and 1.0% to $4.92 billion and $4.97 billion respectively. Going by the trend, which translates to average quarterly remittances of $4.72 billion, annual diaspora remittances may hit $18 billion, slightly above the $17.6 billion projected by the World Bank for 2021. But observers believe it could be more going by the usual increases on Yuletide activities. Citing increasing influence of policies intended to channel inflows through the banking system, the World Bank, in a report released last November titled Migration and Development Brief 35, had projected that Nigeria's diaspora remittances will increase 2.5% to $17.6 billion in 2021 from $17.2 billion in 2020. The 10% year-on-year increase in 9M21 also represents a reversal of the 41% decline recorded in 2020, when diaspora remittances fell to $16.94 billion from $23.45 billion in 2020, due to the impact of COVID-19 triggered economic lockdown on the incomes of Nigerians in diaspora. The CBN in December 2020 introduced measures to encourage diaspora Nigerians to send their remittances through the banking system to forestall this trend in 2021. Among other things, the measures allow beneficiaries to have unfettered access and utilization to foreign currency proceeds, either in foreign exchange cash or in their domiciliary accounts. Furthermore, the CBN directed payment switching and processing companies to stop local currency transfer of diaspora remittances received through international money transfer operators. The Apex Bank also directed mobile money transfers to disable wallets from receipt of funds from IMTOs. How did diaspora remittance fare globally? Recent World Bank report reveals that remittances to low and middle income countries are projected to have grown a strong 7.3% to reach $589 billion in 2021. This return to growth is more robust than earlier estimates and follows the resilience of flows in 2020, when remittances declined by only 1.7%, despite a severe global recession due to COVID-19, according to estimates from the World Bank's Migration and Development Brief released today. It further discloses that remittance flows to low and middle income countries, excluding China, are expected to surpass the sum of foreign direct investment and overseas development assistance for a second consecutive year. This underscores the importance of remittances in providing a critical lifeline by supporting household spending on essential items such as food, health, and education during periods of economic hardship in migrants' countries of origin.
Foreign exchange, hard currencies, dollar, pound sterling, euro, Dutch marks, French francs, and so on. It is all about Forex. It is the denominator that lubricates the economy as well as your life. International trade is run by it. Our national economy is dependent on it. As a manufacturer, it is what you need to bring your materials from overseas. And as a parent, it is what you need to send your children to school abroad. And for critical medical treatment, Forex is what you need to get that hospital outside Nigeria. So you need to know how it's faring in the market, how and where you can get it through the banks and the BDCs. Forex Matters will bring to you information on developments in the Forex market and how the community is responding, just to make it good for you. Forex Matters, your monitor on Forex developments.
In Student Economies and Strategies, Adediwe speaks about how the BDCs, Bureau de Change Operators, can maximize the opportunities available in the diaspora remittance window.
Coming back to Nigeria, you enter and borrow the change on a London street to buy naira from there. Or you return to Nigeria from. We used to do that. Okay? I need to spend some naira once I arrive in Nigeria. You live in Nigeria, just went there maybe for a conference or seminar, whatever, and you are coming back, you told yourself that, hey, I need to pay for taxi from airport home. Probably I need to also hire a trolley at the airport. I need to pay also naira. You enter and borrow the change in a London street, and they will sell naira to you and collect pound sterling from you. So why can't a similar thing operate here? Of course, those borrow the change did not get allocation of pound sterling from the Bank of England at the time.
As a business, the renowned economist says the BDCs are better positioned to conduct the retail part of Forex in Nigeria.
But there's something we call market intelligence, are different from marketing research. Where they do marketing research is to know about what has happened in the past. That's why we call it postmortem analysis. Market intelligence is where they are. For example, if I were in that space, I will go and Google Bloomberg Economics, Nigerian migrant workers. Just Google that, or go on any search engine. Put that there. Nigerian migrant workers, Bloomberg Economics. You will get the report I'm talking about. Download that report, read it, get an idea. Where are Nigerians in the world in large concentration? So how do I break into that market and convince most of them to remit through my own borrow the change? That now is real business and real strategic planning for the business. So we have to take our mind away from central bankers to make supply available. Government needs to make supply available until we detach our minds from government, central bank being the sole responsibility for our survival. We may not break out of this cycle.
Besides the diaspora remittance window, there are other low-hanging fruits such as remittances from international agencies, international oil companies, the IOCs, among others. Although there are laws regulating those transactions, unfortunately the operators violate the laws with little or no repercussion to their errant behavior. And Adedipe says they escape justice because there's corruption in the system.
We have to get to a point as a nation where we begin to recognize the need for honesty and integrity and pursue that to a logical conclusion. And how that will happen is that it wouldn't matter any foreign agency or entity that you have evidence that violated this extant law and regulation. Apply the sanction, but don't just apply it in the wardrobe. Let that sanction also be public information so that it becomes a deterrent to those that will either want to do the same or continue in doing it because they've been doing it together. The moment you do that, what will be the outcome is simply this. What you see happening in Ghana? What you see happening in Rwanda? What you see happening in South Africa? Even in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Egypt, and all of these countries. What you see happening within their banking system will begin to happen in Nigeria. I say this because I've been privileged to do some work that relates to the banking systems in every country in Africa that has a banking institute. Now, until we do that, you find that we get a narrative different than what is happening in those other African countries. Not to even talk about Europe, the Americas, and the rest of them.
According to Adedipe, some other countries in the world had found themselves sometime at some point in the kind of forex mess Nigeria has found herself today.
There was a time Malaysia was also in this. In fact, to be specific, during the East Asian crisis of 1997-1998, Malaysia was in this kind of situation. But the government then introduced some policies that both the World Bank and IMF deferred from. But they insisted that we know that this is what is good for our banking system and our economy. And they implemented that to the letters. And within the space of 18 months, not only did this banking system recover, they also had their stock market recover, and also the economy recovered.
Over and above the business side, there's that part also that speaks to our sense of patriotism. That is the part that Adedipe calls out in the delivery of Forex or any other business in the Nigerian economy.
As a Nigerian, my interest is to see the central bank governor succeed. My interest is to see the Nigerian president succeed. I don't need to be related with them or benefit directly from them or what they do. But as a Nigerian, if they succeed, I benefit from the improvement in the economic space where I do business and residing as a Nigerian. So we must therefore find the courage, our leaders, political, of course, the monetary authorities and fiscal authorities, they must find the courage to implement those policies, ensure enforcement of those extant laws and regulations.
Owner of Makari Lagos, Olori Sandra Thomas is both the chief consultant and the beautician in charge of the Makari skincare products in Nigeria. Additionally, she runs 2 other beauty care lines. Her business is import driven, and of course that means Forex is a lifeline to our international trade. In a manner of speaking, Olori Thomas fondly called Makari after the branch she superintends. She's been in the skincare business since 2011 when she opened the first Makari branch in Lagos. She said management of Forex today is not the way it was when she started her business 11 years ago.
Before, when I buy my products, I could use my card, I could use my Naira card, my Naira ATM card to make my purchases, like a POS web. I just use my card and I place an order for $10,000. I already have my Naira card. I use my Naira card. When I tell people I used to use my Naira card to pay for goods. So I take my card and I punch into the website and I buy my goods. No matter how much shopping I did then, my payments will go through. So far, I have my Naira in my card. And the rate, when I started this business, I remember vividly, rate then was about 160, 165.
Her dealings with Forex was so good and smooth that she earned the trust of her foreign partners.
Because all I need to do is just punch in my card and my payment will go through. So if I have my Naira, so easy and, less cumbersome and so beautiful that even my supplier had trust in me at that time. Like, we can always get our money when we need it. But I don't know what went wrong.
For her, the situation in the FX usage in the country took a turn at the point when there was a change in the type of ATM cards users were mandated to use for international payments.
When this started getting bad was when they told us that if you have a company card, like if your ATM card says company card or whatever, you cannot use it online anymore. Yes. Then we now have a huge percentage of people opening savings accounts so that the ATM card, I don't know what the card, the MasterCard or Visa card, could read their personal names. That was the beginning of the problem. Immediately, we were told that you cannot use your company card anymore online. You cannot use it to make any purchases. Even if you take the card abroad, it's not going to work. Then there was a massive move from, current accounts. People started opening savings accounts and all that. That was the beginning. That was when the problem started. Then we started having the shortage of FX. Then it started, because I personally never used Western Union or MoneyGram in Nigeria. I've never used it in my life. But there was a point in this government that I went to queue at the bank 5 a.m. Wait for the bank to open so that I could at least get 1,000. And by that 5 a.m., trust me, there are about 15 people right in front of you. Only God knows when they got there.
From that time, everyone began devising means just to pay for their goods in foreign currency. If you recall, over 41 items were banned a few years ago just to save Nigeria's forex reserve. Bakari says importation and patronage of imported products is a choice as long as both the importer and the consumer can afford the price and they can afford to pay the taxes involved.
I never knew about it, but everybody started looking for ways to pay their goods. And that was when I knew that we really have a lot of importers in Nigeria. You see, for somewhere like South Africa, I understand Nigeria would do toothpick, right? Even if you do toothpick in South Africa, or even in the US, I lived in the US, you are still allowed to bring in a toothpick from China. It's a choice. I might decide to buy the locally made toothpick. Someone else might decide to buy the made in China toothpick, and someone else might like to buy made in Nigeria toothpick. It's choice. People should be able to have choices.
She outlined some of the real issues that are contributory to the downturn of our business.
Number one is the exchange rate. Number two is the retail of the FX. The retail of the FX, if I try to buy, if I try to fill the form, whatever, for my business from banks and all, they come with your products are contraband. You cannot have them in Nigeria. You're not supposed to have them in Nigeria, and so on and so forth. And I can tell you one thing today, if we really want to be honest with ourselves, that 60 to 70% of business owners in Nigeria fall under that contraband. That's what we all sell. So I don't know how they came about those lists of goods that they placed under contraband. I don't know. But there you now come about distributing of the FX. Sometimes I begin to wonder how they do it, how they come about the distribution, because you see, how were they doing it years ago that you can walk into a bank and get whatever you need without being harassed, without being frustrated, without being, I don't know how to put it. How were they doing it then? That people could go into the bank and get whatever they need.
According to her, accessing business travel allowance, BTA, is becoming a challenge in Nigeria.
My kids came for holiday in December. I bought them tickets and return tickets. We went online to fill, because that is the new system now. For you to even pay their school fees or to even buy the $4,000, you have to go online and fill in something. And my kids, we filled the form for them for 21st of December. And up to we speak today, my kids are back in school. They never got a date to pick the PTA. When kids begin to see this, how do you want them to come back in the future when they finish school?
For the avoidance of doubt, the Central Bank of Nigeria further clarifies as follows. 1. Only licensed IMTOs are permitted to carry on the business of facilitating diaspora remittances into Nigeria. 2. All diaspora remittances must be received by beneficiaries in foreign currency only. 3. IMTOs are not permitted under any circumstances to disburse diaspora remittances in Naira, either in cash or by electronic transfers, be it through remittance settlement accounts, which had been earlier directed to be closed, third-party accounts, or via any other payment platforms within and or around the Nigerian financial system.
So much to talk about and so much to learn, but not much time. But not to worry, we will continue this discourse next episode, same station, same time. It's all about Forex. Join me then. Until then, I remain your friend and your Forex guide, Chris Polo Taibe. Have a great day.